To start off with, I'm going to make a pattern. So I just taped together 2 pieces of paper and fold it in half. And now I'm going to start to make the outline of half of a pumpkin. And then when I cut the outline out, I'm going to keep the paper folded in half. That way it's even on both sides. I also cut out a leaf and a stem. I have 2 pieces of orange fabric here, and I'm just going to start outlining my paper pattern with a pen. I pinned it together just to make it easier when I cut it out, and I also cut out a green leaf from some felt and a stem from 2 pieces of brown fabric. I'm just going to cut out my pumpkin now, but I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch for a seam allowance. So when I sew, I'm just going to sew directly onto our line that we made with the pen. So now to sew the stem, we're just going to sew those 3 sides and leave the bottom open for stuffing. When you're done sewing, just turn your stem right side out, and you might have to use a tool to help you with the corners. I stuffed my stem with some polyfill, so I'm just going to push that in there now, and I'm going to sew across the bottom, but leave about 3/4 to an inch of fabric there. We're going to use that to sew it onto our pumpkin in a minute, so I'm just going to sew it shut so the stuffing doesn't come out. Now we're going to take our stem and put it inside of our pumpkin, the unfinished side pointing out by your raw edge. That way later on, when we turn our pumpkin right side out, the stem will be on top and it will be on the correct side of the fabric. Now we're just going to sew our pumpkin shut, but I'm going to leave about 2 inches on the bottom open. That way when we turn our pumpkin right side out, we'll be able to stuff it. So now I kind of wanted to try to embroider some veining onto my piece of felt for my leaf. So here you can see which setting I used on my sewing machine. And I just used some brown thread to kind of do a zigzag down the center of the leaf and then some veins branching off from the center. Now I'm just going to trim off those extra loose threads. So I finished sewing my pumpkin and I turned it right side out and I stuffed it with some polyfill. And now I'm just going to close that opening at the bottom with some brown thread. Now we are going to attach our leaf at the top, and for this I just did a couple of stitches with that same brown thread. It was really easy. So for our last step, I'm just going to take some brown acrylic paint and just kind of draw some dashes down the sides of the pumpkin, just to kind of show those grooves. And that is it. We are all done with our pumpkin. I think it turned out really cute. I especially love the leaf. And if you have not seen my witch hat tutorial or my ghost pillow tutorial, I will leave those linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.